All right. Welcome. Greetings and heavenly salutations to everyone, including you, Dr. You.
Peace. Peace, everyone.
Yeah. So we online live now with our Equinox Detox Challenge check-in, at the end of this 7-day period. Just in the line is open. Anyone who wants to check in, how they experience with and all that. So that's why we're here. And also, just to remind everyone while we wait, just in case someone want to come in and share their experiences as we share ours. Um, the reason why we do this, um, it has come to our understanding philosophy that there's a saying that, and don't know how true it is, but it sounds good. A teaspoon of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. And what that translates to, if you do a little bit, little bit of maintenance, every day or periodically, a little bit, that definitely outweighs doing nothing. And when things get so bad, and you reach what's called a chronic state or chronic situation, and that's why you got to make all these calls. You got to get this, get that. You got to because it's a dire situation. Whereas a little bit of planning, a little bit here, a little bit over time, kind of alleviates, generally speaking, any buildup of anything that will cause you to have to, oh, we got to do this now. So if that makes any sense, that's one of the reasons why we went ahead and decided to give to participate, to share, because we're going to do the detox 4 times a year. So what we're doing is we're sharing our experience of the detox 4 times a year, slight changes, and the benefits that happen. Because the thing is, we're looking at say over a year or 2 years, every quarter we do this, we're facilitating a little bit of prevention, a little bit of prevention. So it kind of adds up over the course of time. So just wanted to give my person's perspective and on why we're doing these things. You want to add anything to that, Doc?
No, that was well stated. So
Cool,
you wouldn't
cool.
have anything there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. Well, with that, I guess my person will lead off and share of this experiences during this detox time. And as a reminder, coming from the metaphysical perspective, the focus for my person this time was more energetic, energetic. We did do the colon detox. That's a staple right there. And we cleaned up, make sure that we were strictly plant-based, I mean, strictly, and less fried foods, cut down on the smoking. So we did those things on the physical level. And but at the same time, we got a lot of meditation, a lot of asking questions, and then listening for the answer throughout this time as we focus again on the liver. And one of the things that my person holds is that the liver resonates with the anger, the emotion of anger. And so one of the things that came up, there was a couple of posts my person did as these things did come up on personally on how it sees anger when it comes to self. And that was basically got an upload and understanding that when we're hard on ourselves, in a sense, being hard on yourself, because there's a saying, don't beat yourself up. Don't be so hard. Don't beat yourself up. And when you think about beating yourself up, it's a fight. You're angry, you're mad, you're upset. So whenever we're beating ourselves up about something that we did that we may not be proud of, especially if it was an accident, because at this stage, a lot of us are operating with intention on doing right, intention on having the best health, intention on showing up in our highest vibration, intention on being showing up as, love, compassion, you know, we have these intentions, but sometimes our intentions don't manifest because we have lack of attention. And then so the question becomes, what do we do if we're not paying attention so much and our intentions is not then manifest as such? And so for my person, it shared that it had an experience, the strong before, And we use my person uses the word strong as opposed to weak because it's just a play on words. The last strong as opposed to last week. There was an incident that happened. It was not intentional, but it presented a life and death situation for a family member, not a biological family member, but a spiritual family member. And so this was right before the detox. And so all up until that time, when we started, there was this back and forth emotional um, vibration my person had with when you're hard on yourself, it's very challenging to be productive, to be creative, to move forward, to be excited, to have joy because you're hard on yourself. And in a sense, personally speaking, it's like, well, what's the use? What's the use? It's that kind of vibration. And so with the meditation, we want to talk to God during this detox period, because detox may be likened to fasting a little bit, where you want to clear some things out to hear from God. And so personally, what God was shared was things happen. If they're not intentional, then there's always a lesson involved. People say there's a lesson and a blessing. There's always a lesson involved. And God was like, if you're able to get the lesson from the experience, and if you're able to take the lesson and use that lesson as fuel, implying this, if you the lesson my person got was, of course, not be distracted, but make sure that you're in your lane, that you're connected, to God, that you hear the voice saying you're on the right path, and your experiences is backing that up. You know, Personally speaking, it was in a situation where the experiences, there was a lot of challenges, a lot of challenges. And a lot of times with challenges, personally speaking, we would read the cards, go to the oracle, why these challenges taking place. But this time we didn't do that. We was like, we just gonna do it. There's a challenge here. We gave all our energy up to meet this challenge. Then talking with God, God was like, well, it's an honorable thing to want to help. But yet if you're giving all of your energy, everything you got, you're up late at night, you're coming up with this and nothing seemed to work, then maybe this is not the way that you're supposed to help. There may be another way. And so since my person wasn't open to another way, the universe, God had to says, we have to stop this. We have to get your attention to be open to another way. So moving forward, really just being open, making sure that we see the signs. And if we feel good, talk to God and the signs look good, to just focus on this. And if it doesn't, don't do it. So moving forward, all of the action that, so it's not anger, but it's passion now. So instead of anger, the anger is now passion. Some say willpower, the action to simply do what it is God saying do. Some may, talk to your spirit guides or ancestors, or God, for those of us who actually open up to receive the instructions from our non-physical entities, spirit guides. This is one of the ways in which it manifests from my person, opening up to our guides when we have an experience to give them the insight, the lesson learned, and apply that lesson and move forward. So, it was a biggie, but this is what my person came up with from the detox, a major way, and just how to move forward when things happen that you don't intend to happen. How to use that to set yourself up for a different type of action. So, metaphysically speaking, that's how my person looked at the liver and the anger during this detox season.
Indeed. Well, for me, I don't feel like any major shifts happened for me, but I didn't do a lot with the herbs and things like that this go around. I kind of stuck to just mainly food shifts and
Uh-huh.
utilizing foods, you know, to assist my body with detoxing, which worked. Definitely noticed increase of bowel movements, um, getting back on top of my water intake because I kind of slacked off, not a whole lot, but a lot less than I typically would have. So getting back on top of that, and definitely noticed the shifts in that regards in terms of my elimination. The other thing that I more specifically, shifted food wise was reducing my fat intake. And that's one of the things that I have a little bit of an issue with is I like to eat a lot of fatty foods.
Hmm.
Sometimes fried stuff and, just habits. Fried
Yep.
stuff, the veggie pizzas and, things of that nature that might have a lot of fat in it. So
Okay. Yeah.
anytime you're dealing with working with a liver cleanse, that's one of the things that you want to make sure to reduce greatly is the amount of fat. The oily stuff, the fried stuff, even the nuts and things like that. Not to say that I'm not eating these things or weren't eating these things, but a lot less in my portions than normal. And fried stuff I eliminated completely. So I did notice that you know I felt a lot more. What's the word? Organized,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, decisive, even. You know, which interestingly enough, now that I'm thinking about it, uh, the decision making aspect, when there tends to be blockages with that, sometimes that can indicate that there's a blockage or some type of uh, 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 something that's not totally efficient in the gallbladder energy. And one of the things that the gallbladder is responsible for is helping the liver to process fat. So
Hmm.
that's one of the things that, in retrospect, I'm seeing that. I'm like, oh wow, this past week I've been able to
Yeah.
move a lot more decisively. I've my organization and things like that seem to have gotten a little bit better than they normally have been. And yeah, those were the major things that I noticed personally. My elimination increased. Felt better
Yeah.
hydration wise. As a hand drummer, sometimes my hands can get sensitive when the temperature gets cold. So not I've been doing a lot better this year in general because I've been staying on top of, like I said, my hydration, but I had kind of slacked off for maybe about a week, something like that. Got back on top of it. That's helped me out because I've been doing a lot of drumming recently. So those are some of the major things that I noticed off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Give thanks for that insight. Uh-huh. Yeah. Also had a noticed improve the bowel movements, faster in and out, that kind of thing. So we talked about that in the last detox. So yeah, in fact, that's one of the things we actually look forward to every detox, especially with the colon cleanse. A smooth move, just in and out.
Mhm.
And as you spoke about the drumming piece, I want to share another correlation that tied in just today, as a matter of fact. These lessons, they be popping up. Um, and this is not so much on the anger piece, but it's more so much on the passion and the courage to act out, to be different in a sense. What happened was today in drum class, was playing the drum class, dance class, Creative Suitland. Shout out anybody interested in either revisiting the drum, learning the drum, or either dance class, traditional African drum and dance. Come out to Creative Suitland, baby. Sundays, we right there. Need them by you in the house, right? And so I've been on this journey with the African drum for since 2019. Just started slow start. And one of the things that has been shared from Dr. Yu, who's one of the teachers, got to put that out there. So we got to get better now because his name is out there. So Dr. Yu speaks about not being distracted, right? And today it was phrased like this, because you had the part. He said you got the part down, and when you got the part, because on this particular drum, it's known as more time. tinker, the timekeeper. So you're stable. Everybody else soloing and doing this fancy stuff, but you right here in the pocket, baby, in the pocket, in the pocket. And don't get distracted, stay in the pocket. And so sometimes guys have been playing for years, they just come in and they just be going for it and have a tendency, Doctor, you say when people come in, you got your part. Don't start following them because they're following you. And today, a light bulb went off. It was like, Spirits God said, that come from your childhood being a people pleaser. It was like, wow, had yet to make that connection. So again, my person will say, give thanks to the detox and releasing some things, get some things out the way and opening up to anger and the liver and what does that look like and how to use its energy to benefit at its highest vibration. And so what we got from this experience today is yes, growing up because of the traumas that happened, the bully, everything that happened, you became afraid to act out. You're different. You're different. You're different. I mean, we're different now. People can see that now. But growing up, no, we was a conformist. We was a people pleaser growing up. At an early age, we became a people pleaser. And we kind of had an idea about that, but thought that we was like, okay, we're the unk now, we the high priest, we doing this, we showing up. But no, very, very subtly, because Dr. Yu always says, whatever's going on in your life, it'll come out on that drum, which is another reason for those who are looking to, open up to the music as medicine piece. Traditional African drumming, is a good way to help see the principles of life manifest in the drum, and so that you can make that connection, especially when you have a good teacher, spirit guide like Dr. Yu. So again, the takeaway today is because you was unable, you didn't have the strength, to say this is how we're going to act, this is how we're going to show up. You begin to people please. And again, that third chakra, that third energy center, that solar plexus, that Mars energy, we call it that with the Mars energy also. That's about that aggression. Again, it can be anger, rah, or just straight passion and obsession. And so another thing that came up again, how to use this third energy center chakra, this anger, to be yourself. Be yourself. Especially if you've been talking to God and you have an idea of how you should show up. Don't be ashamed of being yourself. Don't be ashamed of being yourself. So use this energy of action, your passion. You're passionate about being yourself. Again, this is a message for self here. To be even more passionate about being yourself. And even now, as we're speaking about this, we're just being reminded because the energies in society, most of us have noticed they're becoming more and more rampant, more and more trumped up. And so, personally speaking, testimony, story time, God saying now, the more that you passionately, are able to be your own unique expression, of source energy, then that's seeking you first. And then the things that you want to do, things will be so much easier in your life by your passion of being strong enough, having the courage, right, to just show up in your own divine, unique way. So again, just want to share that out there. That just came to the day. And so with that, and the other message, we're going to be sent with this, doing this liver season, doing this spring season, and we'll be checking in from time to time with an update more than likely on just, the latest updates and how we're actually using the lessons learned in a way that's benefit to some experiences. And who knows, even look out for an emotional wellness workshop because we now even have more experiences to add to the emotional wellness workshop that we've been speaking about for a number of years. So I just wanted to add that piece in there because the lessons every day, baby, every day. If you open up to it, we have a saying now that life, for those of us, those who get off in the like the tarot deck or readings, life is a tarot deck, and every experience is a card being pulled. So the degree that you're able to interpret the card from the experience of the tarot deck, you're able to see exactly what's happening in your life. So this little metaphysical perspective on things. Want to share that out there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Very important.
Yeah, we had to switch up right quick.
Oh, okay. see what's happening here. Up, are you saying something, brother Shepherd? Can't hear you. While we're waiting on brother Shep to get the sound right on his side, I'll mention a few things that I've been working with food wise. I've been doing more fruits, particularly I've been utilizing more apples recently. I've been kind of drawn to that. And apples are actually a very good detoxing support food because they're very rich in fiber, they're very rich in antioxidants, and the fiber works to help to sweep debris and things of that nature out of the colon. So if you're not getting a product, so to speak, like a psyllium husk or a metamucil or something to that effect, you can kind of use apples. Just make sure you're eating the whole apples. Apple juice is not the same, but you eat the whole apples, that make sure you're staying hydrated with enough water, and that helps to increase the bowel movements and helps to nourish your gut and things like that as well. So you have the proper cleanup mechanism going on. Very good for the liver also, especially the Granny Smith apples. I've been working not with the Granny Smith this time around. I was working with the Fuji apples. But those will work also, you know. And yeah, that's what I've been working with those more. I'd actually bought some berries. I bought some kiwi berries, and I bought some golden berries, something that you may see in your local grocery stores. People may not talk about them a lot, but I like them personally. A little bit of a tart flavor, but not too overbearing. The kiwi berries are almost like mini kiwis. The very,
Mm.
those things, the seeds kind of have a funniest texture to me, but I like the flavor all in all, and it again has that tart flavor like I spoke about the last go round. So, working to incorporate more of those things like that. Those things are things that I don't normally eat on a regular basis. But I said, since we're doing this detox thing, let me start incorporating a couple different things as well. Um, did eat out, but very selective on what I was eating when I was eating out.
Hmm.
Just being on the move a lot. So you can detox and be on the move and have a busy schedule. I'm definitely living proof of that. Been on the move a whole lot this last week. I think maybe I had one day where I really kind of was at home for most of the day, but a lot of the week I was moving around doing different things. But you can still do that. It's always good to, just make sure you're prepared to use the restroom when you're out. Bring your
That's right.
necessary supplies. I travel with soap. I travel with hand sanitizer, and sometimes with tissue.
Yeah.
Never know, So all right, we can hear you, brother Shep.
Yeah. Had to switch up the device. The phone had died, but the computer was on standby backup. Yeah.
Ah,
Uh, so yeah, we had an opposite experience because I only ate out once this strong, and that
hmm
was at Cava. I got one of them bowls with the falafel and that, plenty of greens and everything. But other than that, I was around here doing the salads and the soups and beans and proteins and things like that, the grains, quinoa, couscous, so felt really good about preparing the dishes for the most part.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I made. I was tempted to eat out last night, but I wound up making some food, so I was proud of myself for the discipline when I
Yeah.
really didn't want to cook anything. But Cava, I've been to Cava maybe twice. And for those who, if you're not familiar with Cava, Cava is kind of like Mediterranean inspired place that offers different like bowls and with salad options and things of that nature. So usually when I go there, I get a greens and grains bowl, and because I don't know how they cook the falafel, I was very intentional about not getting a falafel, even though that's my favorite thing to get.
Oh man,
So proud of
yeah.
myself for that as well. Even in doing
Uh,
these things for, periodically and for some time, you know, it's always still a win when you're able to exercise your discipline. You know what I
ah,
mean, and do things that
yeah.
are in your best interest that you might have been tempted to do something otherwise, you know.
Uh-huh.
So
That's
big up to
another.
all
That's
my
another.
people who went through the experience and who were able to get through it and exercise that discipline and making the right choices, even when you were presented with something else that might have been easier,
Right.
presented itself as easier to do or easier to have or something that you just tend to like, and it's not the best thing for you, but you chose to uh, make a better decision for yourself, and that's really what it's about, one moment at a time. So
Yeah.
it's always good to look at that for anything moving forward. If you're able to do this for this, uh, 7 days, for those who are dealing with Ramadan right now and the fasting, you know, shout out to you all as well. Um, that discipline, the same discipline you have there, you can exercise in anything else that you choose to. And that a small amount of discipline can carry you a long way as well. So just wanted to shout that out.
Yeah. Just want to add that in my personal system, that discipline is also an attribute of the that Mars energy, that solar plexus, that third chakra, have a correlation with the liver. That discipline, the courage to say no, nope, we're not doing that. It's not in our best interest. So that's a powerful piece. That discipline. Again, my person says it also fortifies the liver. You know, and tonifies that liver. So looks like Dr. You may have had a phone call to come in. That's the life when you know, when you want it, when you're service for the people. So and it seems as though we're winding down anyway, coming up on a good, half hour, 30 minutes on this check in. And again, just wanted to share our experiences doing this detox, some takeaways, from the experience. How was it? What we did, and it also reminds you of why we do what we do. So, and with that being said, what happens next? Well, as we move forward, again, this spring season, we just at the beginning of it, and so we're going to be in the spring season generally up until June. You know, officially at the summer solstice, that officially they will say that moves us into the summer season. So up until about mid-June, we're going to be in the season that correlates with the energy of the liver. And so, and with that, stay tuned for more, lunch and learns, maybe a lunch and learn pop up here, special presentation, from one of the chief practitioners on liver. We may even throw in one of our old health class you never had episodes that may talk about liver, just throw a broadcast out there. Again, just to assist and hold the space throughout this spring season as we again engage in cultivating um, the organ of the liver and what comes along with that. And also want to just say, stay tuned as we speak of the health class you never had. We're looking at this is March, April. Yes, in fact, it's April 1st. It should be out. If not, definitely, if not tonight, by Monday, we'll definitely send a reminder out that we're going to have another health class you never had. April 1st, Monday, April 1st. And that class will be on self care, self healing and self care, the importance of that, which ties into what detox in a sense, because a detox is a part of self healing and self care. And so, if anyone is looking for, few tips, tools, suggestions on self care techniques from a holistic perspective, Feel free, please tune into our health class you never had on April the 1st, 11 a.m. live on our Collective Health Initiative Facebook page and our group page. So, stay tuned for that. And other than that, of course, again, back to the creative suitland piece, want to just encourage everyone to look out for information on next Sunday because once a month, Dr. Eve's mom, she engages in the more the healing aspect of African dance, and so it's a wonderful time to get your healing on understanding that component of African dance, the healing through an elder, Iya Sawu. So good thanks to her, and that's going to be on next.
Shout out to Mom Sawu. She's been tuning in
Indeed,
lately
indeed.
as well, and doing her thing on making sure that she's making better decisions about her health and well-being, and inspiring the elder community to do the same, and keeping the movement going and all of that great stuff. So big up, Mom. And I guess I'll close out on my side by again encouraging everyone to continue on the path to make the best decisions for yourself. And as your light shines, it will influence others around you to do the same and to better ourselves and our situations, which will reflect in our greater community. So, salute to you all, and hope you have a good evening, and look out for the things to come in the near future. I'll be starting off the herbal walks for anybody interested as well next month once the weather kind of stabilizes. So I'm looking around the middle of next month to begin the first herbal walk. If you're in the DMV area, look out for that on the Collective Health Initiative page and my personal page, Dr. U DOCTAYEW, both on Instagram and Facebook. Information will be coming very soon on a particular date and time. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Indeed. Peace and blessings to all and wholeness.